Gareth Wheeler and Terry Dunfield with you from Toronto FC training on Friday. Before we get into it, Terry, it's Remembrance Day, and we want to thank all those past and present who have sacrificed and given their lives for our freedom in this country. It's awkward now because after an emotional Sunday, we have all this time off between games, Terry, and it's not until next Tuesday where Toronto FC takes on the Montreal Impact in the first leg of two in the Eastern Conference Final. You've dealt with these international breaks before, having played in them and also been on the sidelines and having to deal with time off. Is it a good thing having this time off, or do you kind of just want to get back at it?
It can work either way. I think it's been so taxing. The roller coaster of the playoffs. The last 3 weeks have been amazing highs, both mentally and physically. Some of the players will be so drained. So just being able to put your feet up, recoup, regenerate, I think that's important. But the momentum right now behind this team is something else. In the last 5 games, they've won 4, drawn 1, scored 15 goals. And at the moment, they're playing some scintillating stuff.
As a former player, though, is it easy just to turn off the switch and all of a sudden press pause on this incredible run?
I think at this moment, yeah. You know what? I think they'll really enjoy the break. I know some of the boys are going to Columbus. And at the minute, they're at the stage where they just shut their eyes and all they're seeing is soccer balls.
Yeah, I mean, over the course of your career, did you just escape from the game? Did you just get away and get on with your real life? Or do you stay sharp? Or how do you stay sharp?
For me, I was on the other side. I was going away with Canada. Sorry, mate. But yeah, you know, so you're focusing on that game, but in the back of your mind, you know you're coming back to a massive game, and that's brilliant.
It was a good decision by the Canadian men's national team to leave the TFC and Montreal Impact players back here. They played their final match of this calendar year, a 2-0 loss to Korea Republic. So we'll flip the calendar on that and look forward to what the Canadian men's national team has in store. The team has been very light around the training ground. I guess that's as expected. You mentioned some of the boys are going down to watch US-Mexico tonight, including Nick Hagland. What do you do as a player when you show up to training? Do you just kind of go through your reps, just make sure that all those knocks that you've taken are kind of healed and you're really prepared for next week, which is going to be much bigger for the team in terms of preparation?
I think this week it would have been just the players that have played all the minutes, just taking the workload off of them, and then the other players, just giving them a little blast, some sprints, work them hard, make them work for their days off. I used to hate that. But yeah, I think that's where they're at. And then next week, tactically, they'll start to focus on Montreal, and I'm sure Greg Vanny will look back at the previous meetings with Montreal over the 5 of them over the season.
There are 3 TFC players that will be busy over the next few days with the U.S. men's national team. Is Josie Altidore and Michael Bradley taking on Mexico tonight, Costa Rica on Tuesday, and Armando Cooper with the Panamanian team playing Honduras, then I believe Mexico on Tuesday. So it's a weekend off. Even for the coaching staff, Greg Vanny is going to take full advantage.
It's been a busy 3 weeks or so for the group. They've had to really lock in, engage, and obviously perform, and we've asked a lot of them physically. So this is the first 2 days they've had off in a long time. You know, we pushed them a little bit physically to get what we needed to out of this last few days in training. But now what we hope to get is a little bit of a mental sort of recovery period and a physical recovery period. And come back ready to go. So
the coaching staff hasn't even started to talk about tactics yet, so we'll wait to talk about tactics until next week. What we do know about this tie with the Montreal Impact is that the first leg is going to be played on turf inside the Olympic Stadium in front of, it's going to be around 60,000 people in attendance. Terry, you played there before for Toronto FC. What's it like playing in that building?
Yeah, I played there a couple years ago under Ryan Nelson. It was the 3rd game of this season. You're a little bit just disappointed as a player because you always like to play on grass, but I remember walking out, there was nearly 40,000 people there, and I'll never forget the pocket of reds just to the side of the goals, 4,000 or 5,000 of them, just going absolutely berserk. Banners, streamers, and you know what? That was my first real taste of this derby, and you really didn't want to let them down. In the end, we got beat 2-1, and you know, they spend so much money, the fans coming there, they take their time. You want to win for them so badly, so you know they can go to the pub with their chest held out high or puffed out like that. But you know what?
Dunfield.
Yeah, right. but the biggest thing playing there is the turf is extremely hard. You've got to get to that ball before it bounces. Do not let that ball bounce. It's important in your box, especially that you really execute things. On average, Montreal's almost 3 years older than us. I don't think their old joints will like that turf. But yeah, the most important thing is don't let that ball bounce. There's some tricky bounces.
So November 22nd is obviously going to be massive, but we're already looking forward to the home match of the tie on November 30th. Some great news, the regular seats in BMO Field, all of them have been sold out already for this game.
Wow.
And there's going to be additional seats that are going on sale next week. Keep it locked to TorontoFC.ca for information. It's been loud over the course of the season. There's been some special nights when it was sold out against the Los Angeles Galaxy. The playoff games have been bumping.
Been
Add
ridiculous.
more people in the building,
Oh,
Terry.
it's-
What's it going to be like?
It's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I can't wait. I mean, I just want to be out there.
Sorry, buddy, that's not going to happen.
I think Michael Bradley's doing a decent job.
Yes, he's doing okay. We wish Michael, Josie, and Armando the best of luck over the next two games. I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to
speaking
having
of
them back in
atmosphere
Toronto.
down in Columbus, they put on a pretty good show. The U.S. are undefeated in 4 there, and yeah, it's going to be a great night there, and good luck to Armando as well.
Some big games coming up in the Hex this weekend. We hope that you enjoy that. Use the hashtag TFC Live to keep the Toronto FC conversation going over the next 10 days or so. And of course, keep it locked at TorontoFC.ca for your content as Terry Dunfield, he's chomping at the bit to break it all down for you next week.